Okay, just testing my microphone. Okay, looks like the sound is coming through okay. Hi, so I'm just gonna give you just a little rundown of how I was made to study forms and shadows. So what I was supposed to do is I drew from life, but for the sake of this, we're gonna use a photo. So, as part of my curriculum, part of my studies, we had to buy these like foam balls, uh, like not just balls, but foam shapes. So we had a foam. Whoops, wrong. We had a foam sphere. We had a foam cube, and one that was a bit more of a rectangle. A foam cylinder, and a foam, uh, what is that word? There we go, cone. Sorry, I blanked. So we had to buy foam of like these shapes, and these shapes were like what we studied from the semester. Um, and it wasn't even like just like straight up styrofoam. It was like a special kind of foam. Because they wanted like light and shadow to be reflected off a certain way. But yeah, so for the purposes of this, we're going to use a photo of a styrofoam ball. Okay, so we are going to start with just going over, hey, if I asked you, hey, draw a shadow on here, what would that shadow look like? And just, hold on, just making my brush bigger. Just going from the direction of light that we see, I would put the shadow, hey, about right here. And that's, yeah, good enough, right? Um, What you can do, however, is take it down just a little bit more. So what we're going to do first is put in what are called the, hold on, I'm going to do some here. We're going to put in what are called the, hello, sorry. We're going to put in what are called the midtones. Your midtone is what your like base color is of any object that you're working with, more or less. Hold on. Reorganizing myself. There we go. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go with just a very soft, kind of light gray, because the sphere, as we color it, it's not going to be 100% white. The white we're saving for the highlight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a soft gray and just very softly color it in, just a nice soft gray. And then after that, I'm going to follow. I'm switching back and forth a lot. I'm going to be following the shape. For God's sakes, hold on. I'm going to be following the shape of the shadow here. So just going to be slightly darkening the edge here. What this is going to be, actually, it's kind of a bit more like this. This is going to be our form shadow. Just, your basic, standard expected shadow, the basic shading. So I'm going to use my eyedropper, go a little bit darker. I got stuff all over my desk. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, sorry this video is not very organized. Okay. My brush big again. Okay. And yeah, just with a slightly darker gray, I'm just going to go in the shape of where I'm seeing the shadow being formed. Just softly. Make sure I'm going all the way around the edge. And now, if you keep looking, you'll see that as we get further away from the point of light, the shadow gets darker until it hits like this certain like peak point where it's its most dark. That is called the core shadow. And that's what we're building up to. The core shadow is like where the point of the object is, where it is like the furthest like turned from the light. So that is where we're going to start getting a little bit darker. Go back to resizing my brush. There we go. And yeah, just gently going darker. All right, we got a bit more form shadow there. Now I'm going to put in my core shadow here. And not too dark. But I am darkening it a little bit just to give you the idea of where I would put it from, you know, where I'm looking in the photo. Now, that little extra something something, that little something that'll make your art pop. Oh, man. I'm on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. That little something that'll make your art pop. Right here under the form shadow, you'll see there's a bit of light here where it gets lighter. Here we have our reflective light. Move all this over. There we go. Our reflective light, which is different from our light. The reflective light is never meant to be as bright as the highlight, or the same tone as the midtone. So our midtone is, yeah, like basically the middle color of our shape. The highlight is supposed to be just like a little bit, it's meant to be a little bit brighter than the midtone, but not as bright as the highlight. So you gotta kind of find like a nice middle. I'm just gonna go a little bit lighter. And all shapes have this. All shapes have these things. You have your form shadows, your core shadows, and your reflective lights. And it's just a matter of finding where they are. I'm on the wrong layer. Hold on. Here we go. Go up there. Lightly brushing. Okay. And yeah, it's going to give your object just a bit more depth. And then finally, over here, we all know this, we have our highlights. I went a little too intensely. But yeah, there we go. Our highlight. And let's see. And then after that, you can just kind of eyeball it like, hey, I think I would like my core shadow to be a little bit darker. Draw a little bit softer. Bring the shadow out more this way a bit. Blend it out some. There we go. And yeah, that's the basics of how I was made to study forms and shapes for about a semester. And this is just a huge building block for, here, you know what, let me darken the background. There we go. And yeah, just a huge building block that it literally goes into everything you draw, period. It matters so much. It matters a lot. But yeah, I hope this helps.